Good evening, and welcome to Sporlitiks, where sports and politics mix and mingle since 2011. Where were you in 2011? Joining me tonight is Keith, the constitutional conservative, Stephen, the independent thinker, and my cousin Todd. We've got a packed show for you tonight. President Trump, oh my goodness, he's doing a lot. President Trump welcomes Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu to the White House this evening, where President Trump said Palestinians should leave Gaza permanently, and the U.S. will take over the development of Gaza. The Lakers do a Luka trade. What do you think about that? President Trump's agenda for America is moving fast as the USAID, Agency for International Development, is closed thanks to the new Doge. NFL Super Bowl, guess who's in it? Our Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs meet for a second time this coming Sunday. President Trump signs many, many executive orders that we'll discuss. And Walmart is to cut jobs, relocate some of their workers to office space in California and the Metro New York area. And many protests across the nation against immigration and Doge are happening as the White House is drafting an order to eliminate the Department of Education. Unfortunately, the bodies of all victims of the American Airlines and U.S. Army crash have been recovered. Our thoughts and prayers go out to them, as well as the families of those who were tragically lost in the Learjet from the Northeast Philadelphia airport. President Trump says he's given advisors instructions for Iran to be obliterated if it assassinates him. Caroline Kennedy calls for her cousin RFK Jr. a predator ahead of his confirmation hearing. His confirmation vote. That and more, if we can fit it in. First up, let's talk about, Stephen, do you know about this Luka trade for the LA Lakers?
Yes, that is crazy. I think they want LA to win it all. He's one of my favorite players, and to hook him up with LeBron is pretty fantastic. And LeBron can do what he does during the year. He'll take off a lot of time and be ready for the playoffs. And that's a unbelievable dynamic team. I mean, if LeBron was a little bit younger, it'd be all right. That's why he needs to take off some time so he can rest up. But they should be a mighty, mighty force in the playoffs now. I think it was pretty huge, and it changed the whole dynamics of the NBA for this year. It changed everything up. It's just like, I don't know, Tom Brady in his prime going to Miami or something, and it just shakes everything up. It's just crazy. It's crazy, but it makes everything really interesting. I mean, I like him a lot. I'm going to pull for him wherever he goes. So he's going to LA. I'll pull for him there. I'll go for the players.
Cousin Todd, what do you think about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs playing against each other in the Super Bowl this coming Sunday? You're muted. Duh.
Okay. I think the Eagles have a chance to win the World Series.
Oh, wow. What a revelation. Strong J.
All right.
That was just strange. You have anything about the Super Bowl before we go to Stephen with his picks? Okay, Stephen.
Know anything about football, so why would you waste your time?
Stephen?
He's a football fan. Real quick, Stacy. We had a race this weekend. It was more of an exhibition. It was a lot of fun. It was a little track. I didn't get to where it was, but it was a quarter-mile track, and it was a lot of fun. The the fans got to be right outside. Every time somebody would wreck, I mean, the cars were just like this the whole time. If you can imagine, a quarter mile is what like the drag racers race on. It's a quarter mile around. So it was a whole lot of fun. It was a whole lot of, if they wrecked, they just spent like that. But Chase Elliott won it. He was favored to win. And Bowman and Blaney and Hamlin came around the top 5. So it was good. It's fun to see the cars back on the track. And Daytona 500 is going to be about 2:30, 3 o'clock on Sunday the 16th. So I just want to get a little bit of NASCAR in. Then you're asking me about the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
I'm looking forward to it. That I've heard bad news today. The tickets are extremely high, but they said that the demand is not up there now as like it should be, like it was last year when you had Frisco playing Kansas City, because they were playing in Las Vegas, which was a big venue. But they're down in New Orleans now, and they say that the interest might not be there as much. And because people are really tired of Kansas City, and well, they should be, and everybody has eyes, and everybody can see that the referees are all for them. It looks like they're the NFL darlings, and people don't want to go see something that's stupid like that. That's why I hope the Eagles win, and I hope they go in there and maybe get a couple penalties early, just knock people out, like just go prison rules. And just go early for the first quarter. Don't worry about anything, because if you're going to beat the referees, you got to really smash the players. You got to play hard. You got to play tough. Don't give them anything, because at any time during the game, the referees are going to give them a call that's going to help them. So you got to beat the referees. Like I said last week, just like Trump beat all the garbage that could go on to the way they cheated him out of the 2020, they're going to try to cheat the Eagles. They can't let it. They got to be bigger. Like the election was too big to rig. Too many people came out and voted. So, and they had people all around to watch what was going on.
Okay.
So that's what the Eagles need to do. The Eagles need to overwhelm. The Eagles need to overwhelm Kansas City on every level and give Barkley the ball much as you can. He should get over 100 yards. And he should just tear them up. He should be the MVP after this game's over. He should be the MVP of the NFL. And that's my prediction, that he will be. Okay. And that's what the game plan. Keep him on the field. Give him over about 150 yards at least, and keep the ball away from Kansas City. And I think y'all have a good chance, Stacey.
Wow.
Thank you. I think it should be definitely whatever it needs to be in terms of whether or not we do a running game or we do a passing game. If we do a combination of both, whatever we need to do to beat Kansas City, because they are beatable. They don't have the offensive line like we do. They don't have the defense like we do. They have Mahomes, but he's one player and he's on one side of the game.
And they don't have a running back like you do. So, I think you got it.
He jumps backwards over the defense.
He could have jumped over a Volkswagen that day.
Yes, he could have. So shout out to Aguna and the Philadelphia Eagles fans. And thank you, Stephen, for being a gracious loser since you're watching.
Hey, we made the championship game, NFC championship game. There ain't no loss in that.
That's right. No loss in making it.
Yeah, we were number 2 in the NFC, so there's no loss in that. I love it.
All right.
We'll see y'all next year.
Okay. See you next year. We're going to move on.
Before we move on,
here we go. Slowing it down the pace.
Yes.
I'm moving.
Yes. You like to hear when this nut
move on.
So I just want to clarify some things, because Stacey never does, because Stacey, she lives in a cloud. She's got her mind on one thing: boys, boys, boys. So, did you know more people voted for Trump on his last election than this election? You keep saying this is, I know you get it from the dark web and Fox News. They overwhelmed him. They did not. People did not vote this year.
Hey, Whoopi, we're doing sports right now, Whoopi. We're doing sports. Let's stick with sports, Whoopi.
True. That can't be true, because you had more Hispanics and blacks who voted for him than last time. So that can't be true.
Okay.
Right, Stephen?
Okay, we're back one at a time. Todd, you have to finish your point. You can't go on the whole.
I can't. How can I finish my point? You're like delusional. How can I finish my point? Bye.
Thank you. Shoo. So glad he's gone.
He needs some
Hey,
value.
Nas is here. Nas
All right,
is here.
welcome to Sporlitiks, where sports and politics mix and mingle. MAGAs are dumb. How you doing tonight?
Hi, Nas.
I'm all right. What's going on?
Good to see you. Good to see you, Nas.
I want to share my screen and talk about how I want to play this video about how President Trump says they will take over the Gaza. He just said it. They will take, the United States will take over the Gaza Strip.
Hallelujah.
Listen to this.
We'll take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years. The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip.
Of the area.
We will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
Who are they?
Do something.
All right.
Can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it for 100 years.
Now. Who are the people of the area?
All right, let's start with the comment. Let's start with a comment. Let's start with Stephen Keith. MAGAs are dumb, and then Cousin Todd.
Who are the people of the area? Start there.
Okay, who are the people of the area, Stephen?
That would be the peaceful Jewish people.
Okay.
They would love for it to work out with the Gazans, but it just won't. They're just killers. They're bloodthirsty. They're monsters. They never stop. They're Hamas. Hamas runs it. It's going to be the same old thing, and innocent people get killed when they're there. They're going to move them to Egypt or anybody that will take them, and have a decent, beautiful place for people to go.
Okay.
That people can live their lives and don't have to live in
move
fear.
them out.
Because yes, they've got to go. They cannot stay there because you have Hamas that is running everything there. They're underground, and the people need to be freed from Hamas. And if they go back and things go back to normal, it's gonna be the same thing we've had for forever. That's not good for anybody. It's not good for the Gazans. The Gazans need to go somewhere else where they can live a happy life, and then Israel can live a happy life they should have been this whole time. They got a one-state. Israel's not the ones that are trying to commit genocide. The Hamas is trying to commit genocide against Jews, and that's obvious, and the whole world knows it. And Donald Trump did something beautiful and wonderful, and it's biblical, and it's absolutely. You should be jumping up and down with me and Keith. You should be just as happy as us.
Okay, thank you.
You should be happy,
Keith.
Well, yes, I tell you. There is biblical precedent for this because in the book of Second Chronicles,
don't give Israel anything. Don't give them no money.
Well, okay. Well, definitely, sir. He's giving them this. I like this. I like this.
Don't have to give them any money.
Because see, look, in the Second Chronicles 34, chapter 34, it talks about King Josiah. King Josiah was 8 years old when he started ruling. That's incredible. A little kid. And then at 16 years old, as king, he started destroying all the idols in Judah. And so when he did that, it was incredible because he did what was right in the sight of the Lord. That's the way I'll say it this way. Trump is doing what is good and what is right in the sight of the Lord. And they will be blessed, and we will be blessed, and Israel will be blessed, and Hamas will be destroyed.
And we won't have to give Israel any money. We won't have to give Israel any money after a while because they don't need it to have to keep them safe. Todd. We don't have to build. We don't have to build things to protect them any longer.
Cousin Todd. Cousin Todd.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Nas was next.
I'm sorry, Nas.
He's not ready. He's still trying to focus. He's not ready.
Go ahead. MAGAs are dumb. MAGAs are dumb.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the more disappointing aspects of MAGA because when you talk to them, one thing they really leaned into when they talked about why they really wanted to support this guy was they said no more new wars. They said this guy's not going to be violent. He's not going to lead to us, being involved in any foreign conflicts. And as we can see, since day one, that has been job number one: conflict with Mexico, conflict with Canada. Threatening to take Greenland, threatening to take the Panama Canal, and now this. And this is the part that, MAGA supporters are going to have to deal with, because they told us also that he was his own man. The problem was we had the old deep state who was leading us by the nose into these such situations, and that this guy would never read from a script and listen to what those people tell him. Well, as you heard throughout his little soundbite, you heard him being careful with his language. He was told how to name the people, which was to not be descriptive, to keep it open-ended, and he followed orders. You saw him talk about a resort-style situation, and then you also saw him come out when he talked about unlimited jobs, which is an amazing phrase for any situation where there'll be unlimited jobs. So instead of giving you a number, you just say unlimited. So I'm not surprised. Like, this is what I expected to happen. This is what people warned people would happen before the election. Things are going to be really dire. And if you were an extremist, this is the greatest mixtape you could ever make as far as recruiting. So think about the scenario that we're talking about. Not to mention, when you talk about a beach resort and all these casinos and stuff out there, who would want to be in those with the possibility of somebody walking in there and destroying everything because you might have just woken up the extremists and pushed the moderates to the side? So if you're in Iran, if you're in one of these other countries and you're a moderate, you have no say anymore, because they're going to show this tape and all of the extremists are going to be the ones who get the leadership positions, and they're going to be the ones to drive policy. And this dude could easily walk us into a conflict worse than the Iraq situation, worse than the Afghanistan situation. Like, this is horrible, and I'm not surprised. But yeah, I'm interested to hear what Cousin Todd has to say. Not that
you're the only one.
Cousin Todd somehow was disconnected. I don't know what happened to him. So
his head may have exploded with the news of how good Donald Trump has been.
So before we
only Nas could turn into something negative. He
Before
gonna start wars. He gonna start wars.
I mean, that's what he just
People gonna
threatened
get
to do.
blown up.
Wait a minute. Before we go, we'll try to wait for Todd to get back on. But before then, MAGAs are dumb. Would you please talk about that Luka trade in LA?
Well, the crazy thing is the last story you just gave and that story are kind of connected. So Mark Cuban used to own the Dallas Mavericks. He got into some crypto trouble and had to sell the team to raise some money. And the person he sold them to, Miriam Adelson, she's the wife of Sheldon Adelson, I think, who's passed away. And she's a big Trump supporter, big Zionist, and she kind of made her views known.
Oh, she likes Jews.
She's worth about $34 billion from their gambling empire, which is a global thing. And they're trying to get a gambling situation going on in Texas. We'll see how long that takes them to get there. But ultimately, the idea of paying Luka $350 million was a bridge too far for her. That was not something she wanted done. So I see a lot of people online blaming the GM, but the GM reports to ownership. He doesn't just make moves on his own, especially a maneuver this big. This is one of the biggest trades in NBA history, probably one of the worst trades in NBA history when you consider what they got back for a player as good as Luka is. And ultimately, I just think she just didn't want to pay the kid. So they ship him out to LA, and now the Mavericks are going to have brittle Anthony Davis as the replacement for Luka when you're crying about Luka's conditioning and the fact that he's missed some games with injuries. So you go get Anthony Davis? So it really doesn't make any sense, except for ownership had made a decision that they didn't want to invest that kind of money in Luka Doncic. And honestly, if you don't want to invest that kind of money in Luka Doncic, then you probably shouldn't be invested in the NBA, because he's 25 years old and one of the greatest players on the planet. and who has a trajectory similar to LeBron James, Magic Johnson, or whoever else you want to name. Like, that's how great this kid is.
Larry
so to
Bird.
see him traded in the middle of the night, yeah, this was a really weird thing. And that GM, Nico Harris, oh, good luck, brother. I don't think that dude will ever get another
34.
GM job again.
Oh,
This
sure he
is gonna
will.
be
34 billion.
well,
34
Stacey,
billion from gambling. That nobody's that lucky. 34 billion.
Well, that's how you make 34 billion, because other people aren't lucky. They come in, they play, they lose, and they go home. That's how gambling works. Casinos don't lose money, baby. The house always wins. But yeah, that's why these stories are connected, because the Adelson family, they have certain views. So it'll be interesting what Kyrie does, because now he's stuck there. He came there to play with Luka. Now Luka's gone. So yeah, this is going to get really interesting. I can't believe that trade happened still. 25-year-old guy like that, you trade him? It's insane.
Okay, thank you. Todd's back. Let me share my screen. And Cousin Todd told me about this particular story. Please pay attention. Then, Cousin Todd, you'll be the first to respond. Okay, how come it's not? Come on.
The White House. One item is President Trump's decision to revoke temporary protected status for hundreds of thousands of Venezuelans. A decision met with controversy and a passionate response from the local community. NBC6's Laura Rodriguez is live from Doral with reaction this evening. Laura.
Well, some Venezuelans say they feel betrayed by the Trump administration, and they want to make it clear the majority of Venezuelans are not criminals.
And good people, I pay my taxes, I follow the rules.
Alvaro Duran is a TPS recipient. He's in the process of obtaining a green card because he's married to a U.S. citizen. However, his mother and siblings are now in limbo.
Go back to Venezuela is not an option.
Not an option for hundreds of thousands of people who say they may face jail time or retaliation for speaking out against the Maduro regime that remains in power. In a TPS termination notice, DHS said in Venezuela there are notable improvements in several areas such as the economy, public health, and crime that allow for these nationals to be safely returned to their home country.
Conditions have not changed, actually have getting worse.
At a press conference in Doral Monday, Venezuelan Americans denounced the Trump administration and South Florida Republicans.
More than betrayed, beyond betrayed. They used us. They actually, during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that he was not going to touch the documented people.
I didn't think the suspension of TPS was warranted at this time. Venezuela certainly is not a safer place today than it was when TPS was issued. And so I'm not in favor of everything that the Trump administration has done.
On Friday, Jimenez sent a letter to DHS Secretary Kristi Noem urging her to make sure law-abiding Venezuelans are not unjustly penalized.
We need to focus, and this administration needs to focus on putting out the fire, which is getting rid of the Maduro, the illegitimate Maduro regime.
And one group of Venezuelan TPS holders will see their protections expire this April. Another group will likely see those protections expire come September. Reporting live in Doral, I'm Laura Rodriguez, NBC.
Okay, Cousin Todd.
America first.
Okay, somebody else?
I'm not.
I thought you were done, Todd.
Oh, no, I know you want me to be done, but I'm not.
No, I love to hear
I'm
your
proud
dulcet tones.
I'm proud of the president for carrying out his plan just like he said he would. So at least he is sticking to his word. So I had said a long time ago that Puerto Ricans, beware, because you're going back to Mexico. Hey, but I'm Puerto Rican. Get back to Mexico. Hey, but I'm Dominican. Get back to Mexico. Hey, but I'm a Spaniard from Spain. Get back to Mexico. So the dumb idiots that voted for him, and now there was one guy, he voted for Trump, and his wife is illegal. she's trying to get her paperwork in order, sort of like the way Donald Trump and his wife did. And so he's getting his paperwork in order, but they bum rushed his house and took his wife. And so this is wonderful. I said this was going to happen, but I said it on a lower scale. I said he was going to rent 50 buses and go to 50 states. And for the dumb people that voted for him, they would see a bus in a state and say, oh, look, he's getting rid of the illegals. Now, we all know it can't be but 100 people on the bus because only 100 people will fit. But this is what he wants, the illusion of getting rid of the illegals. And so, but I was wrong. He's big time. He could have rented an airplane for about $10,000 and put Mexicans on there and ship them back to Mexico. But he wanted to go big time, and he spent $800,000 on a military plane because he liked the looks of it. And of course, you're paying for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but this is no problem. Whatever he does, I love. And so now he's getting rid of all the legal and illegal people. And it's wonderful. People that voted for him, there are consequences.
He's not getting rid of legal people.
Project 2025. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it. He's doing everything in Project 2025, like dismantling the education system. That's on the agenda. And what do you say about that? So what? Doesn't
no, we
matter
say
what
good.
The prices of food. Are you interested in that? Remember, you used to be interested in that. Nobody talks about the prices. They're not going down. They went up
2 weeks.
So
that's because of
what
the
about? That's because I said all the idiots are going to say that's Barack Obama, even though he hadn't been in office.
No, it was Biden.
That's what you and your crazy Trump supporters say, Barack Obama, and then say, okay, all right. You never will blame Trump for anything. Everything's going to keep going up, and
yes,
you'll never blame him. But I love it.
I will,
because it's dumb white people like you who get
it's dumb black people like you that don't know when you lose. You lost. Smart black people support Donald Trump.
Of course, just like those illegal.
Very smart black people support Donald Trump because they want to prosper.
We're used to you being racist. It's not shocking anymore.
No, the racism is with you and him. The racism is you. That's why the NFL said in racism, they were talking about black people hating white people for no reason.
Stacey, mute him. So now he just broke in and talked all over me. And then he said, don't talk over me, George. So anyway, and Stacey sits there in a daze like she can't say, hey, stop talking over him. But anyway, say no to drugs, Stacey. Nevertheless,
Stacey's not on drugs.
The Mexicans and voted for him, and all the spam. What do you Spicks? I mean, what do you call?
Now, who's a racist? He called them Spicks, but I'm a racist.
I didn't mean to say Spicks, but this is.
I know you don't mean to because you're a racist down to your marrow and your bones.
White people called them Spicks. They called.
No, a black person called them Spicks. That was you.
Well,
this white person didn't call him a spick. You did because you're the racist. You're the one that you're the racist.
Can you
projecting on everybody else saying they're racist? You've always been the racist.
You gotta stop and let him finish. Thank you. Go ahead.
Smart people are not racist.
Move on.
You won't stop him from talking. Why is he on this show? Get rid of him.
That's a good question.
Why are you not on the show, Nas?
So see how he won't stop.
Because I don't want to be seen with you.
No, I don't
blame you. I'd be ashamed of myself too.
So anyway, yeah, those Spaniards voted for this boy, and he's getting them left, right, and sideways. I love it. And when they start beating the coons in their heads, like Keith, I'm gonna love that too, because the Trump is gonna sick.
I would rather watch The View than listen to you.
And then the white women who voted him in at 52%, uneducated white women, 52% voted him in. And guess what he did? He put a boy in charge of the military who hates women, who was accused of raping a woman. And she said, he used his body to block the door so I couldn't get out. And I repeatedly said, no, no, no. And he raped her, allegedly. And then
Allegedly.
the FBI didn't do anything. Now, in rape cases, it's always her word against his, but they didn't even press charges.
No, they
Okay.
do a rape.
Because
They do a
white boy.
rape kit. Did they do a rape kit?
Ma'am, nobody's talking to you.
Did they do a rape
So
kit?
anyway,
So there's not one word against the other
I want
time.
to move
so
on.
it's always in a rape case, one person's word
No,
against
it's not.
the other.
They have evidence. They have a rape
up.
kit.
Shut up. Did you get raped before? So anyway,
I
it's
raped myself.
one word, it's one person's word against the other. But they didn't do that because he's a white boy. And so he paid that woman to keep her mouth shut.
Racist.
He paid that woman to keep her mouth shut. And this is the boy that's supposed to protect these women in service, who actually said women have got no business in the service and certainly no business in combat. And so these Republican white women voted for him. It was
Racist.
only two, really. And
Okay.
so the
So
blood
let
is on
me-
their hands.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to share this screen. And this is-
Stacey,
Yes.
can I just apply a little bit of context before we move on? The
yes.
situation in Venezuela in Trump's first term, he gave them certain protections because we attempted a coup on Venezuela. We wanted to install Juan Guaido as the new president, but he didn't have enough support in Venezuela to pull it off. He was roundly laughed at, kicked in the ass, and removed from the situation. So because he gave those people those protections during that period when he thought we would be able to kind of take it over, he comes in now with his new administration and he removes those protections of those people. So now these people who will be looked at as traitors will be shipped back to their country, which is a very dangerous situation. And these people
Well, it's
supported
not
him
so
not only
bad.
with their vote, but their money. And, it's a terrible thing to see. But we needed to add that context because, he promised them this.
Right. And listen, you get what you get. You voted for him. And so if you thought he was going to be fair, and he's got billionaires backing him, and that's all he's interested in, filling his pockets. So for Keith and Stephen, who think he's going to do something great for them, he
already has. He already has in 2 weeks.
That? What was that?
He's already been a great president for 2 weeks.
By doing
he got
what?
Mexico straight. He got Canada straight. He's done a whole lot. He pardoned the innocent people from January 6th. He's done a lot.
Okay.
He's going after the people that committed crimes against the innocent people of January 6th.
Innocent people who broke the windows and beat cops up.
No,
it's
going to come out. Hey, wait till we get to the FBI. You're going to understand. There was 200 FBI inside and outside of the building. It was a setup, Todd.
Just
those people you said should be in jail who broke the windows and beat the police up.
That was the first day that it happened.
I don't know the answer to that question, but like I told Caitlin, I can get back to you guys on that.
Do you know what expertise he has in the areas of global health or humanitarian aid to be able to assess what's happening at USAID?
Well, first of all, Elon Musk is a once-in-a-generation business leader. He is an entrepreneur. He serves as a great ally and a friend to the president. And I think Elon Musk also has a little bit of common sense. And I think the American people really appreciate that when it comes to the federal government, because it seems like all common sense has been lost in this city. And that's what you see when you look at USAID. I know Secretary Rubio made some comments about how he will be acting as the director over that agency. And here's the reason why Elon Musk and others have been taking a look. Because if you look at the waste and abuse that has run through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap. And I know the American people don't either. And that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government.
Yeah.
okay.
Now,
Beautiful.
did you see how she deliberately told the dumb people like Keith and Stephen that she didn't talk about humanitarian efforts, like the people in Africa who are dying of AIDS because they didn't have the medication. That's what the money was going for, not
No.
to play about transgender people. But they know sick people like Keith and Stephen, transgender.
No,
That's all they love
No.
to talk about.
she expressed where the money was going, and she held up the paper. So there you go.
So
She
She had
held
the
up
evidence.
the paper.
she held up, and how much money is going to that program?
You don't know.
Okay, I'm asking you.
I
Do
I
you
trust
know?
her. Well,
Do
no, I
you know?
trust.
Yes or no?
No, I
Stephen, do
trust
you
her,
know?
but I
I'll
trust
tell
her
you how much
information
is
over
going to
yours.
that. I'll tell you that. I'll tell
I
you.
trust her
Less
information
than
over yours
1%.
because she
Less than
shows the evidence.
1%.
But Todd, it
Yeah.
all adds up. It all adds up. And why can't we keep that money here to help the people here in this country? That's what we're talking about.
Thank you for that
It
very
all
important
adds up.
distinction, sir.
Don't
Numbers add up.
all of
Thank
that DEI garbage is in the toilet, and we're not going to waste any more money
Yes.
on that at
Thank you,
home or
Steve.
abroad. We're not wasting any more money. That's what it's all about. And then more money comes to
DEI
us.
has
You know,
nothing
the
to
people
do
in
with
Saudi
that.
Arabia live really, really well. Everybody in America can live like everybody in Saudi Arabia if we had somebody managing our damn money right, Todd.
you. That's not true.
You just
Okay,
hate one
I gotta
person
move
that
on.
you can't even
You're
love yourself
so
enough to
dumb.
want to prosper. This
You're
is about every
so
American doing
dumb.
better. Every
This is
America having a better life. Every
not
American,
you,
even
dumb
black
dumb.
people like you, Todd, are going to have a better life if we can control our spending.
Wow, you hear that,
It's
Nas?
not. It's not that difficult.
Oh, Nas, did you have a comment before I move on?
Yeah, just real quick. Ultimately, like you see the theatrics with the piece of paper and all that other stuff, and then bringing up whatever they think
Transgender.
will incite people. You know,
Yeah.
that's nonsense.
That's
So
it.
the real conversation within that is this: when you talk about hard power, that's when we put Marines, boots on the ground, tanks, ships, everything else. That's hard power. Soft power, that's what USAID is. That's us funding and helping other countries in order to have
No.
influence within those spheres of the world. Whether it
Nope.
be them voting with us at the UN, whether it be favorable trade agreements, whether it be keeping them out of the power sphere of one of our enemies. So in
No.
a situation like this, what do they always say?
They're
1%.
corrupt
Nature
murderers. They're
reports.
horrible, corrupt
Well,
murderers.
hold
They're
on.
murderers. They're
Okay, you
White
gotta
trash
stop.
Santa, yeah,
You
hold
can't
on, white
talk
trash Santa
over him.
Claus. Just real quick. The other part to this is when you leave a vacuum like that, you allow another power to step in. So China is going to be able to step into the void there and create influence and power in ways that wouldn't have been available to them
Less
because
than
we
1%.
already were there. So now they create different relationships with allies and give themselves access to more markets. So when you talk about the money part of this, having access to less markets doesn't bring you more money. We don't invest government money in these places and just say, well, there you go, have a nice day. No, we kind of dictate how they govern. We dictate who they make deals with and kind of, foment those relationsps. So this is
install
us
the
scaling
leaders.
back.
Right.
Well, that's something we've done too.
And that's
Might
not
as well.
good. And we've changed their
So-
elections. We've ruined their elections. No, we've done a lot. It does more bad than it does good. It does about 90% bad, 10% good.
I'm almost done, Santa Claus. Hold on. So
No,
yeah,
white trash or Santa Claus or something you call me.
Well, that is
Right. And you're not the racist.
The
Yeah.
truth will set
You and Todd
free.
are not racist, but all you do is
Fine.
call everybody names.
Well, you keep talking, man. So anyway, finishing
I
the
will.
point. Finishing the point.
Please.
Yes, there's going to be negative things that we don't agree with, and the thing to do would be to say, okay, we should have conversations about these color revolutions that we've had in other nations. Should we do that? And then you discuss it and you decide where the money goes. The answer isn't to say we're going to remove the whole budget and cede all of this territory to
By
Russia
a
and
billionaire.
China. Yeah, that's a huge mistake globally, and we're going to pay for it.
No, we're
And
not.
this is a billionaire doing this.
No, what we're going to do is we're going to do things right. We're going to do things the right way. We're not going to have the organizations that are totally corrupt. That's what we're going to do. You are
they
supporting
corrupt
corruption because
when
you are
they-
stupid, Nas and
How
Todd.
are they
Y'all want to
corrupt?
support corruption. We want to have
Give
everything
us
be
an
fair and
example of
honest.
who is
You
corrupt
don't
in
want
that.
fair and honest.
Give us an example
You
of
don't have
who is
any
corrupt in
sense
I've
or any
ever
idea
talked to
what's
in my
going
life.
on with them.
Okay, I gotta move
I
on.
don't know how you put
Out
your
of
shoes
time.
on in the morning. You might be the dumbest
I'm gonna
person
put my
I've
shoe
ever
up your
had.
ass.
No, you can't. Because if I
I
came to
can't. I can't
Virginia,
see you.
if
If
I
I could
came
see
to
you,
Virginia, you wouldn't even look
I'll
me in the
come to
eye.
Atlanta. I'll
We
come to
both
Atlanta.
know that. Oh,
I'll
please
come to
do.
Atlanta.
Please
I'll
do.
come to
And I'll
Atlanta.
beat the hell out of you, boy.
No, you
Yes,
couldn't beat
ma'am.
my. You couldn't beat my.
The fuselage of that
Baloney.
American Airlines plane being pulled from the Potomac. And tonight, what we've learned about the Black Hawk helicopter, how high it was flying that night. This is conflicting information from those early days. And in Philadelphia tonight, the black box from that medical transport jet that crashed has now been found inside a crater 8 feet deep from the crash. The plane was in the air less than a minute, 7 people killed. And among those injured on the ground, a boy in a car, metal from the plane lodged in his head. We have learned he has survived surgery. And again tonight here, Gio Benitez.
Tonight, the extraordinary scene, the fuselage of that American Airlines flight pulled out of the Potomac River, the cabin in shreds, the crash with that Black Hawk killing 67 people. So far, 55 of their bodies have been identified. The medical examiner now working to identify additional remains recovered today.
It is my belief that we're going to recover everyone.
Dozens of the victims' families gathering yesterday for a solemn memorial on the runway at Reagan National Airport. Now tonight, the question, was there a discrepancy in the tower radar seen by air traffic control, which may have shown the helicopter at 200 feet?
Initial data indicates that he may have seen 200 feet. That needs to be verified.
200 and below is where the helicopter should have been, but some of the most trusted location data shows the crash happening at just over 300 feet. The NTSB also evaluating the jet's flight data and cockpit voice recorders. And overnight in Philadelphia, investigators locating the black box of the medical transport jet that plunged to the ground, killing 7. The voice recorder found 8 feet deep inside that crater.
If you look at the impact and how deep that crater is, it was a very steep angle at which that aircraft came down.
Data from Flight Radar 24 shows the medevac Learjet en route to Mexico was in the air for under a minute before the crash. All 6 people on board that jet killed, including a mom and her 11-year-old daughter who had just received medical care at nearby Shriners Children's Hospital. Another killed in a car on the ground. At least 24 people injured, among them 10-year-old Trey Howard, his father describing the harrowing scene to our Stephanie Ramos.
We're turning to Cotman Avenue and you just hear a loud bang and then a ball of fire. I turn around, he has metal out the side of his head.
Trey then rushed to the hospital where he underwent emergency brain surgery. He's now in recovery. And David, there are still so many questions. The NTSB is now working on a detailed timeline for both of these crashes to see exactly what went wrong. David.
And what the father didn't, what you didn't hear the father say is he had his other children in the car and he was covering his little sister. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm. Well, how far away were y'all from that, Todd? Y'all weren't that far away, right?
30 minutes.
Damn. That's rough, man.
Yeah, this is like a really fragile and kind of scary time. The gentleman you saw on stage, Sean Duffy, former Real World MTV castmate.
Yes.
There's a lot of videos of him online. You can kind of see what kind of behavior we're talking about. But this is kind of what happens when people say one thing and do another. So they keep talking about DEI and people's qualifications.
Yeah,
and then you
which
look
has
across
nothing
the
to do
board,
with this.
Right, but you look across the board at the people he's hiring and you see unqualified people who've been on TV or have some other type of fame, and you're putting them in positions of authority over very important things. So when you're calling air traffic controllers one of the most high pressure jobs on earth and threatening their jobs and telling them they should quit and take a buyout and all this other stuff, we can see things like this start to happen. And that's the danger.
On.
And that's the danger of electing an unqualified person.
But Donald Trump's been in office for 2 weeks, and this is his problem. He's been in office for 2 weeks, and it's Donald Trump's fault. You're insane. You're insane. You got worms in your brain, man. It ain't Donald Trump's fault. It ain't nobody that just got to get out of here, man. You're insane. No, you're nuts.
Why are you so triggered?
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, finishing up. Anybody who wants to look up those air traffic controllers being threatened with their jobs, just look it up. Elon Musk put in the Doge Council. That was one of the protocols that they put in, and that is something that has been done. The air
They
traffic
didn't read about
controllers
this.
had
So
to go
now they
call
can't do their
Congress.
job because he
Hey,
put in
hey, hey, man.
protocols.
Hey,
That
hey,
makes
man.
no sense, Nas.
Hey, shut up.
Let him finish,
So
please, and then you can
these-
comment.
So these people had to contact Congress to try to figure out if this was legal for them to be pressured out of their jobs and told that they should take a buyout and things like that. So again, when we get in scenarios like this where you say, oh, it's
That
only
didn't
been
happen.
2 weeks. Well,
That
this
didn't
wasn't
happen.
happening 2 weeks
That didn't
ago.
happen.
We had these two events as soon as they came in and the policy started to change, and the idea of the importance of these people working these jobs, which are, essentially life and death, started to be questioned and scrutinized. Then we see these things start to happen. So yeah, I expect more of the same. And the same way you decided that ship in Baltimore, when it hit that bridge, the same way you decided that was Biden's fault or Pete Buttigieg's fault.
It's never
I don't know
Biden's
how
fault.
you can
Nothing
look at
is.
a scenario like this and say that, okay, the policy changes may have been in effect. So yeah,
Come
thank you
on.
for the time, cousin Todd.
Oh my God.
Thank you. Go ahead, Stephen. You can respond.
That's the dumbest thing you've said since you
Well,
said that those
you're
kids.
dumb, so
Hey,
you
shut
wouldn't
up!
understand it.
You told
You're
me to
still
shut up.
quiet.
Shut up! Stop!
Well,
Hey,
you're
cut his
dumb,
voice
though.
off. Cut him off like
Seriously.
you did me. That's the
Now he's
stupidest
gonna
thing you
watch.
He
said,
did that
Nas.
after you
you're
talked
Since
for
you
an
said,
hour.
since you
Go
said
ahead.
that those
No,
kids
you are.
that were they're Jewish kids getting terrorized in colleges all around the country. The terrorizers are doing the right thing, just like the Vietnam protesters. Let
Yeah,
the
freedom
kids
of
go. The
speech.
kids are doing it.
Freedom
That
of
is
speech.
stupid. That makes you a
Right foot
racist.
symbol.
You are a
No, that's the
Nazi.
Constitution.
You are a
That's the
Nazi. You're a
Constitution.
Nazi. Terrorizing
Are you
innocent
going to
Jewish
address
people
the
is what
topic?
Nazis do. Shut
Are
your
you going to
damn
address the
mouth.
topic?
Shut your mouth.
Are you
Shut
going
up.
See, she mutes me. She won't mute you. She'll mute me, but she won't mute you. Shut your damn mouth.
Look at
I
him.
will
Look
come
at
to
him.
Atlanta.
crying or address?
No, I'm not crying. I'm saying shut the hell up. Because that's
Are you-
real stupid. For you to try to blame Donald Trump shows how desperate and pathetic you are. You're a desperate, pathetic communist that did not win. We stopped you for decades. People like you have been trying to take this country over. We kicked your
Are you
stupid
going
ass.
to address
We're
the
our
topic
country
or have
and our
another fit?
Constitution kicked your ass and you can't stand it.
Look how
So all
red
you're going to do
his
is come on
face
here and act like
This
a
is amazing.
jackass.
Oh,
You
God.
have
Triggered.
nothing.
Let's
You ought
calm
to go
down.
run and hide in the corner with your big ass tail
triggered.
between your legs.
Triggered.
Get the hell out of here. You're trash. All you are is trash. Communist trash.
Thank
You're
you.
a hoe.
You
You've
lost.
always
And good
been a
things
hoe.
are happening in this
AC.
world.
Okay,
Good things
Keith.
are happening. People like you are the problem. You should be
I
deported.
believe.
You
Okay,
should
I
be
believe.
deported.
Keith.
Shut up. Shut up, Nas.
Shut up.
So you're not going to answer the
Shut
question
up,
or
Nas.
anything?
She don't
You
shut
just gonna
you
have
up,
a
but
fit?
she'll cut my mic, but not yours.
I did
And
cut
then
his
give
mic.
me hell for
I cut
5
his-
minutes
I
at a
cut his
time. Tell me,
mic.
do not
I cut
talk
his
over
mic.
nobody there, boy.
Yeah.
Stephen.
Look at his
He's high.
tantrum.
He is high. Say no to drugs.
Raise that blood pressure, boy. Good job.
Stephen, I cut his mic 10 times.
I don't
And
care.
if you go back and watch the show, Stephen, you'll see that he stopped
You don't have to
while you
explain
talked.
to
You
I
don't
him.
cut
have
his
to
mic
explain to that
10 times.
moron. He's just a crybaby. Just
Keith,
leave
go
him.
ahead, Keith.
Look, he's laughing at you.
Boy, I'm enjoying this.
Oh, you
Stacey,
enjoying your
I'm
boy
enjoying
toy
it.
getting just okay.
I'm enjoying because everything Steven says is right. I'm just enjoying it. I
He
wouldn't
says
say
it's
it.
right. Yes,
Yeah, I
suppose
wouldn't
you
say I
Yes,
wouldn't
sir.
tap
say
He's
it.
dancing
straight in
moron.
bed.
Shut up.
I
Show some
wouldn't
more
say
teeth.
it. Nas, you're a great man. I wouldn't say it to you, but Steven's right. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't
All right,
talk to you
let me
that
move
way.
on.
But
So
I
you
can't
have
talk to you.
nothing to add on the topic either because you guys don't
No.
know
No,
anything
he doesn't
about
know
it.
anything.
Yeah,
They
there we
don't
go.
know anything.
Same
And
old,
so they
same old.
can't deal with the facts. Like there's been a change.
There's been a change.
And so
There's been a
Donald
change.
Trump made that change. And so now he's
You lie.
pretending
I don't know how you're lying,
that
but you're lying somehow.
only white boys can take these jobs. As a matter of fact, Marco Rubio.
Racism.
Marco
Yeah,
Rubio.
he's not a white boy, right? Or is he? I don't know how y'all determine white
just
or
a minute.
black.
Marco
What is
Rubio
he,
wants
brown?
to be a white boy, and I know this Mexican who said,
You want to be with a white boy.
I put white on my birth certificate.
Who
As if
sounds
that
like
makes
the
him
rapist,
white.
Steven? Stephen, who
Him.
sounds like
So
the racist?
anyway,
That little Marxist,
Marco
little
Rubio.
Marxist down there.
Now he's a
Marco.
Marxist too.
Oh,
Do
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just use that every day, like
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he
it's
used
like
that in
parsley. He just
transgender.
sprinkle it
Y'all
on
are
everything.
anti-constitutionists.
Well, we just talked about a situation that involved the Constitution, freedom of speech, freedom right to assemble, and you said those.
You don't
things
have
were
freedom to
Marxist.
terrorize
You're a
innocent Jewish
moron.
people. You don't have the freedom
When
to
he
do
called
that, dumbass.
terrorize, when
And
he
you
called
you celebrated it because you're a dumbass, Nas.
what do you
You
call
don't have the right to terrorize
terrorizing?
innocent Jewish students.
Look
Wait
how
a
That's
minute.
why
bad
you should be gone. They should
Yes.
put you over there
Raise
somewhere in the Middle
raise
East.
that blood pressure. I'm gonna get this dude a
My
heart
blood
attack
pressure's
if I
good.
can.
My blood
Raise
pressure's
it.
good.
Raise it.
Yeah, and you know what? The whole world knows how stupid you are when you're on the side of the people who want to kill the Jews.
Evil.
Our
They're
roundtable, we're out
evil.
of time.
They're
It's
evil.
it's the first of Black History Month. We're going to do our roundtable. We'll start with Keith, then Stephen, then Mag is our dumb,
Uh-oh.
then cousin Todd.
Stephen, he doesn't know any Black history, and neither does his lover, his friend.
Stop
And
saying
you're a
that.
homophobe, and you're a
He's married.
homophobe and a racist.
I'm telling you that. Stephen. No, I'm sorry. Keith, you're
He's so
first.
mad.
Oh, he doesn't have anything for Black History Month.
He just
So
knows
he
about
don't
skinning
want to
and
just
grinning.
grin.
Skinning and grinning. That's all he knows. Skinning and grinning.
I tell you, you guys are cracking me up, man. I can't.
I
This is
love it.
amazing. I
Okay.
love it.
Stephen?
Well,
Yeah,
let me see.
yeah.
Let me say this, Stephen. Let me
Go
just
ahead.
say that Black History Month is a very interesting month. But I tell you, I'm going to call it I'm going to call it American History Month because that is what history is being made with Trump in power. And I love it. And
Any black man without a
it's gonna
mustache.
be good.
I tell you that.
It's gonna
Any
be
black
good.
man without a mustache,
Thank you.
I don't trust him.
It's gonna be good.
Well, I think the way they tore down Columbus and wanted to tear down Washington and Jefferson and everybody else, our founding fathers, good people, around up and down, like they did four years ago. That's what the Marxists do. What we need to do is tear down every Marxist that's celebrated in this country. We need to change the name of schools. We need to change the name of the streets of Martin Luther King Jr. because he was a Marxist and he was a fake Christian. And real people understand this. Real Christians, real good, decent people understand this. You know what? Your Marxist uprising lost. Obama lost. You finally lost. It's over now. So all the DEI, all your racism, all your hatred of white people, you lost. Now things are gonna get right now. We're not gonna celebrate Marxist or communist. We're not gonna put Mao. We're not gonna put pictures of Mao up. We're not gonna change names to streets of Mao or anybody like that. You lose. Y'all have lost. The Constitution won. We have people in power now that can protect this country and do what's right for the people in this country. Even you stupid Marxists that are too stupid to understand it's not good for you to be a Marxist or a communist. Y'all are the ones that are stupid. You're indoctrinated. You don't have any sense. It doesn't work in any country. Now it's going to save it. It doesn't matter if Donald Trump has billions or Elon has trillions. You can all have millions. All of us can have a lot of money. All of us can live well in this country. But y'all, all you want to do, you Marxists want to do, is separate the racists, separate the rich and poor, and make everybody want to fight each other when we can all be together. For the first 2 years, Donald Trump, before he was president, and 2 years he was president, I was against him. Because I thought he was going to be bad for minorities. That was my big thing, because I'm an effing racist. I was upset that he was going to be bad and harmful to minorities. He's the best thing to minorities, and that's why so many voted for him in 2024. He's good for everybody. And when you idiot Todd and idiot Nons figure it out, you'll figure out, I guess, when y'all gets raised up with the rest of us. But right now, y'all look really stupid, anti-American, and if I had a vote, I would deport the two of you. I'm ashamed of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stacey. God bless.
Thank you very much. MAGAs are
Top
dumb.
5 ugliest men in America. Oh, what'd you say, Stacey?
It's your turn on Black History. We need you, Nas.
Well, really, I have nothing to add on Black History Month. I would say people search out podcasts and books mainly. Movies don't really do the job. because with movies, you have to kind of tell a story and sensationalize things. But if you go to original text, you'll find the information you're looking for and be surprised at some of the things that you find. Black people, like all other people, have made great accomplishments in this country that need to be, discussed more and understood. But it is what it is, man. It's rough, man, because, I'm used to talking to adults. So when you're speaking to people who kind of operate on a childlike, mental state, like it's kind of hard to explain things to them. See, I'm talking about Keith in a bad way, and he's smiling. He's got his thumbs up. He enjoys it. So what am I going to do?
All right, thank you, Cousin Todd.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Time's up.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump keeps talking about this DEI stuff and getting rid of DEI, and he keeps saying that over and over to people like Keith and Stephen because they fall for it, and then he'll just switch up topics and say DEI. That means nothing. Just like these were white boys who were air traffic controllers. There was a white boy flying the airplane, and I think it was a white girl flying the helicopter. So they're all white. DEI has nothing to do with that. So though DEI does give white women a chance.
Thank you.
DEI, absolutely. DEI, just like affirmative action, help more white women than black men or women.
And that's why we have policemen and firefighters, women that can't do the job. That's great. Thanks.
They can't do the job. Oh,
they
so
cannot
you
do the
think
job.
Women should be firefighters or police or in the military.
The one in California said she couldn't carry anybody. If anybody gets themselves in that position, it's their fault.
Okay,
there you go.
You just answer the question. Do you think women should be policemen?
In certain situations, like in combat, certain situations, a man is better for the job than a woman. Yes.
Wait, I don't know what he said because Stacy, with her ignorant self, butted in. I said, do you think that women should be police officers, firefighters, and in the military? Yes or no?
As the way they should be in communications. And they can control, in the military, they can control airplanes from city.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they do not have the strength of a man. If I'm a cop and I got a woman working with me, I could be in more serious trouble than if I have a man.
Okay. Thank you.
Todd, finish up. We're out of time. Thank you, Todd. We're out of time. You can't.
I just wanted
the whole show.
Shut up and listen.
Minutes.
I wanted the public to hear what Stephen thinks. Now, let me just ask his boy toy.
No, don't ask him anything.
Do you think women should be police officers, firefighters, and in the military?
I agree with Stephen.
You agree with Stephen? Okay. Oh, look. He loves his boy toy. Good for you. Now, listen. The president keeps talking about DEI, and it's funny that he should do this in February. The military was segregated. You know that, right? But because of DEI,
we only have 2 minutes. You're talking for an hour.
I am not.
Todd, make a coherent sentence.
Because of DEI, the military was no longer segregated. Do you call that woke?
It doesn't need to be segregated because every man can be together and work hard in the military or police or it's harder when you have women mixed in.
Thank you, Todd. He's going on. It's 8:59, and he keeps asking them more questions.
Well, because I want to expose them.
You ask him this. Do you?
He wants to expose us because he wants to see us naked.
No, they're not going to answer.
He wants to see us naked.
I would. Yeah. Look, I imagine. Can you imagine those two naked? Lord,
I'm sure you have, Todd.
Trunks are rising.
I'm sure you have, Todd.
Have you looked in the mirror? You look like the devil.
Thank you.
Okay, let me just say, wait. Let me give this Harry Stewart Jr. He was a Tuskegee Airman. He died today at 100 years old. He was one of the Tuskegee. He's the last living Tuskegee Airman. He just died today at 100 years old. So I just wanted to pay tribute to him. and throw it in the face of Donald Trump, who thinks blacks and women don't deserve to be in the military.
No, he does not. Come on, Todd.
Thank you. Now, Todd, that was the best thing you said the whole time. Thank you for telling us that. Our thoughts and prayers are with that Tuskegee Airmen's family. To our first responders in our communities, you make our lives livable. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the women and men of the U.S. military for all that you do and sacrificing your lives so that we are free to say whatever we choose on the show. We are forever indebted. On behalf of Keith, the constitutional conservative, Stephen, the independent thinker, Nas pulling it in for Aguna as MAGAs are dumb, and my cousin Todd. I'm Stacey Johnson. Let's keep this conversation going. Check us out on Stephanie Stallworth's The Flow Television Network. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube at Sporlitiks, where sports and politics mix and mingle since 2011. Check us out on Instagram at Sporlitiks. Check us out on TikTok at Sporlitiks.com. Where else are we? Check us out on Twitch at Sporlitiks. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week. As you can see, we're back. Good night.
Come on, Todd.
Y'all have a good one.
See, that's from the Melania collection.
Thank you, Nas. Thank you, Nas.
Thanks, Nas, for calling us stupid.
Well, the truth hurts.
You're welcome, sir.
No, that ain't the truth, man. Keith and I are very smart.
No, you're not.
Thank you, Stephen.
And this is the thing that Donald Trump, he does these things, and these idiots think, oh no, that's a good thing. These things are not good. When you have a billionaire making these cuts at random, the education system, remember Project 2025, which Donald Trump said, I don't know anything about it. What? No, not. Now they're doing everything in Project 2025.
The education system needs to go back to the states.
Why would it need to go back to the states?
Because our education in this country sucks, and it shouldn't be on a federal level. Right. And the people that run it from the federal level have nothing to do with education. It's totally corrupt, like everything else that you support.
No, it's all corrupt. And so the states say blacks can't learn with whites.
They don't do that, Todd. Todd, you're living in the 1950s or 40s or something.
Okay.
Todd, it doesn't work like that anymore.
Okay.
You still perpetuate racism. It's not there anymore.
Why does women make less than men?
Because they work less.
They do the same jobs.
Because they work less.
You are so ignorant, and this is what I'm talking about.
And they don't do the same jobs as men.
Should not do the same job as men. You said they shouldn't be cops. They
shouldn't be they don't do construction the way men do. They don't do a lot of jobs that men do.
And so this is what Donald Trump has done.
They don't work on oil rigs. They don't work on high rises.
They hate women.
Todd assumes that all men make more than women at the same
I know it
job.
doesn't make any sense. That's not true. When women will stop their careers to have babies and have a family, that's why they don't make as much money. Because if me and a woman goes to the same job, we're going to make the same amount of money. But if she leaves to go have children and then is out of the workforce for 10 years, then in 10 years I've made more money than her. Your figures are screwed up that way, Todd. It doesn't make any sense. You're fighting battles that aren't there anymore. You're like an old Japanese general standing there with your sword.
I can't deal with dumb people all night.
Are you saying that?
I guess you just have to be asleep.
Bye, Felicia.
When you go asleep.
You're saying that, Todd? You're saying that
more women are going to college than men. You know, his arguments are 12 years old now. Exactly. The same argument that never changes, and it's been debunked 100 times. Women do very well in this country. Black people do very well. Everybody does very well, and everybody's going to do better. That's the thing with Trump. You know what he did to the border? What he's got Mexico sending troops there, and we're sending our troops there. Did Biden do that? No. Biden left everything wide open and ruined this country, and Trump's trying to fix it. How can they make that a bad guy? They can't. They have nothing to say bad about Trump. I'm looking. I can't find nothing to say bad. He's doing great things for our country, for everybody in our country. black,
And look
white,
at
red,
Stacy.
green, all over, whatever.
Stacy
Right? See,
is very well. Yeah, Stacy is educated. I bet she made good money. I bet Stacy made more
Stacey's
money than I
a
do.
perfect example of a woman doing very well in America. And Todd puts her down. He puts his sister down when he says they're so. It's a stupid arguing point that he's done for years, and it's no merit in it at
He
all.
doesn't put his sister down. He says you put his sister down when you called her a quack.
Oh, she is a quack, and everything she said about COVID turned out to be wrong. But you know what? It's not her fault. She was taking in the information that she was given from people like Fauci, and Fauci needs to go to prison. Fauci needs to hang.
She's a
Fauci's a terrible person. Read the book on Fauci.
She's not a quack.
No,
right,
she's
good night.
well. Then I won every argument I had against her because it turned out that COVID shots were BS. Wearing a mask was BS. All of that, all of the arguments that y'all had, I was right on every argument about COVID. Every argument, Stacey. And if she's going to represent doctors, nurses, or whoever else, then she's a quack because she came at me because she was an